Let's go to page 307. The objective of this lesson is to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. So let's go to example 1. A. So when you have an x minus 3 squared equal to 7, okay, notice this is a perfect square. So to solve for this, you have to undo the square, you have to undo the 3. So to undo the square, you need to take the square root. So go and take the square root on both sides. Now when you take the square root of the variable, you need to put plus or minus on the other side. So now square and square will cancel out. So you get x minus 3 equal to plus or minus square root of 7. The next thing you need to do is go and undo the minus 3. So you need to plus 3 on both sides. Now you always put a plus or minus on the end. So you're going to have x equal to 3 plus or minus square root of 7. Now this is an integer, this is a radicand, so you cannot mix the two. So since you cannot mix the two, this will be your answer. Okay. Now if they have the same kind of number, then you have to separate and you have to simplify. Okay. Now let's go to 1b. Okay, you got 2x minus 3 squared equal to 7. So again, when you have a perfect square, you don't have to multiply out. You can just go and take the square root. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to write it one more time. So I can take the square root on both sides. And again, when I take the square root of the variable, I need to put plus or minus on the other side. So the square and square will cancel out. So now I have to simplify this part. So again, I need to undo the part that are farther away. Start from the farther away and you work your way in. So I need to undo the minus 3. So I need to plus 3 on both sides. So I got 2x equal to 3 plus or minus square root of 7. Then after that, I need to divide by 2 on both sides. So divide by 2, divide by 2. So I got x equal to 3 plus or minus square root of 7 over 2. Again, these are different kind of numbers, so you cannot simplify, so just leave it like this. So just leave it like that, and that's it. Okay, let's go to example 1c. Okay, you have x plus 5 squared equal to negative 4. So again, when you're solving for x, means you have to get rid of all the extra stuff. So go and get rid of the square. So undo the square, you need to go and take the square root on both sides. And again, when you take the square root of a variable, you need to put plus or minus. So the square and square root cancel out, so you got x plus 5 equal to plus or minus. Now remember, square root of negative is I, and the square root of 4 is 2. So again, you just go and take the square root of each part. Square root of negative is I, square root of 4 is 2. Then after that, go ahead and minus 5 on each side. So I have an x equal to negative 5 plus or minus 2i. Now you cannot combine these two because this is the real number, this is the imaginary number, so you cannot mix them. So that's your answer. Now if you have the like terms, you have to separate the plus from the minus, and you go and simplify after that. Okay, now let's go to example 2. Okay. Now example 1, if you notice, is perfect square already. It's already complete a square for you. Okay, but now when you get to example 2, you got x squared minus 6x minus 3 equal to 0. Okay. So this is not complete. So this is not a perfect square. So to complete a square, what you need to do is first you move this out of the way. And make sure you line up. So you get x squared minus 6x equal to 3. You need to leave this space blank for now. Okay. Then what you need to do is, you need to go and make this into a perfect square. Okay, so to get an x squared, you need to have an x over here. Okay. Now to get a middle term of negative 6, you need to get minus 3 over here. Okay, because this is always half of that, because 2 times negative 3 give you negative 6, and here's your x. So from this, you can get this. From this, you get that. Okay, so from here, you can get this number, because this is always half of that. Okay, but now, this is not equal to this, because in order from here to here, you're missing the plus 9. You need the plus 9, because negative 3 squared will give you 9. Right? You square this, you get that. You multiply to get a middle term, and this square give you that. So in order to get from here to here, you need to get a plus 9. So you need to have a plus 9 in order to make a perfect square. Okay? Now, because you plus 9 on this side, you need to plus 9 on the other side. That's what equal means. Equal means you have to do same on both sides. Okay? So now this side becomes 12. Okay? So again, you leave this space blank, you figure out what's going on over here, then you have to figure out what number you need in order to make it into here. So once you figure out this number, you put same on the other side. Okay, so now you have perfect square. So now it becomes like the example 1 problem. Okay? So I'm going to write it one more time so it's not as cluttered. So now to solve for this, you're going to take the square root on both sides and put plus or minus. So square and square root cancel out, so you get x minus 3 equal to plus or minus. Now square root of 12, you go off to the side, you simplify. Okay. So this will give you 2 square root of 3. Okay. And next, you can go and plus a 3. So from here on is example 1. Right? So this is a complete square. So x equal to 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. Okay. Okay, let's go to example 3. So you have 2y squared plus 2y plus 5 equal to 0. So when you have a square, what you want to do is, when you have to solve by complete a square, so you need to go and get rid of this number, so minus 5 on both sides. So you got 2y squared plus 2y is equal to negative 5. So get rid of, this is a coefficient c. So get rid of this number and leave an empty space over here, because you need to fill in the missing number. The next thing you need to do is get rid of this number in front. So you have to get rid of this number and this number. So to get rid of this number, you divide everything by 2. So you got y squared plus y is equal to negative 5 over 2. Okay? So now you get rid of this number, you have to go and get your perfect square. Okay? So you have to kind of figure out all the parts over here. So in order to get y squared, you need to get y, right? Because y squared will give you y squared. And over here, you have to remember where this came from. The middle term is times everything. So this is going to be half of that. So you need to plus 1/2. Because 2 times 1/2 will give you 1. And here's your y. So again, from here, from this, you get this. From here, you will get this. Now, once you do that, this is not equal to this. These are not equal because you're missing a number. And the number that you're missing, you need to use this number to figure out the number. Okay? So 1/2 squared, in order to get this number, you need to have a plus 1 over 4. Because 1/2 squared, you have to know how to go back and forth. So 1/2 squared is 1 over 4. Okay? So this is the number you need to make a perfect square. Okay? Now, but if you add 1/4 over here, you have to do the same on the other side. That's what equal means. Equal means whatever you do on this side, you need to do same on the other side. So you need to plus 1 over 4. Okay? And so now you can go off to the side to figure out the sum of these. So negative 5 over 2 plus 1 over 4. You have to make into common denominator. So LCD is 4. So from here to here, you need to multiply by 2. So this becomes negative 10. Okay? And so this becomes negative 9 over 4. Okay? So when you add this, you get that. Okay? And it's quicker if you can use calculator, just use calculator to add that. Okay. Now this is too cluttered, so I'm going to write it one more time. Okay. So now to solve for this, you just go use the example 1. Okay, undo the square, you have to take the square root. And when you take the square root of the variable, you need to have plus or minus. So now let's go and simplify each part. Square and square root cancel out, so you got y plus 1/2. Okay. And now you have to take the square root of each part. Square root of negative is I. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay. So again, you just take the square root of each part. Then after that, you go and minus 1/2 on each side. Right? So you got y equal to negative 1/2 plus or minus 3i over 2. And that's it for your answer.